Hey there, Outliers. Niiamah Ashong here, and thank you so much for letting us be a part of your journey today. Outliers, something that doesn't typically happen just occurred. I ended up stopping the recording of this podcast and starting it all over. And it was really interesting because today you're going to be joined with our featured outlier here. Her name's Cynthia Towner, and she's incredible. And we were just talking beforehand about how like we'd like to let things flow, let things grow, be in the moment. And we were laughing and sharing with each other how like both of our podcasts, we don't do takes, we don't do a lot of editing, And I was like, yeah, I'm totally with you. And then this is take two because yeah, but the energy was off. There was something in how I started off the conversation that where the energy was off, and I like to bring these kinds of things into the conversations as we get started because my whole goal here is to make sure that you continue to see yourself in the others around you and leverage and take what you want from that to help you go out and keep making your biggest impact, bringing in your biggest amount of income and doing it in a way that really aligns with your identity. And so to do that, I don't want to hide anything from you. It's part of the reason why I don't do takes and I don't edit. I'm like, this is what it was. And that one required a redo. So Cynthia, I'm really glad that you're here. Thanks for playing. Thanks for creating this experience here together. I want to give Outliers a chance to get to know you. Would you mind sharing more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Man, I'm playing all kind of games. I am Cynthia Joy. I am from Chicago, Illinois, South Side in the building. I live in Colorado Springs now. I am a stroke survivor, but I am many things. That's not all I am. I'm a creator of everything. So you're gonna find all about strengthening you and everything that I do. That is the game that I play, and it's all about creating positivity and building things in the world that tell you that you can't. Creating in a world that says you can't create despite what you look like. So that's kind of the game I play, the game of life, the game of love, the game of positivity, and the game of energy. If you can't tell, it's in the building.
I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm all in on this here. That's a fun game to be playing. Thanks for doing what you do. What got you to say, "Hey, look, it's my turn to like step up and create this. It's my turn to bring this movement out to life." I want to know. Tell me about how this whole thing got started for you.
Well, like most people, I got knocked down, and when you get knocked down, you either choose to stay down or you find a way to get up. And that's why I found that strength in you. So I got knocked down by a stroke when I was 31 years old. Couldn't walk, talk, swallow. My kids were 2 and 5 years old. My mom had died from a stroke when I was 10 years old, and I had experienced a lot of things with trafficking and sexual violence and just stuff. And so when stroke happened, it was like, well, everything I've been through in the past must have prepared me to get through what I'm going through. And being in that hospital one day, it was just like, why not me? And there was other people like me who needed somebody to give them hope and to remind them they are not what happened to them and that you can still dream and you can still live and you can get up and rise above what you've been through and find that strength in you to push through anything that life gonna throw at you because that's what life does. It throw balls all day, every day, and it's up to you to either choose to knock the ball at the park or let the ball beat the hell at you. So I chose to get up and knock the ball out and make and create something for all people that's like me of the handy capable vibe. So yeah.
Yeah. I have two young kids right now. They are 2 and 4, just about to turn 5. Like you. So when you say this, like it takes me to that right here. Like it was the delicate time, and you showed up and still created on top of it. And I want to acknowledge you. So like if I'm getting you here, like you got knocked down, you had the stroke. It was happening at like your kids were young, right? You had to relearn a bunch of different things. And then on top
Absolutely.
of that, you like said, okay, I'm gonna go out and keep creating and building out this message from there. Take us to a bit of that story. Help us see what made that come to life for you.
Well, originally my oldest was 5. He saw me and he was bawling. He started
Mm.
crying so hard, which made me cry, and I felt just down and sad. And of course, I was mad at God. I was angry. But then something hit me, and it was like, well, at least my kids can still say mom. because my mama didn't make it. So that was the first kind of check on my list. Like, okay, this was one positive thing to see and focus on that. So then, in watching my son cry, I was able to cry with him and show him that vulnerability to show him we both were sad. But look, mommy's still smiling and my face was so crooked. But I was able to make my baby laugh. So that was the like second check. Like your face looked different, but you still got a happiness in you that he can see. So then it was like, well, they gotta not just see me as a stroke survivor. I'm more than just that. And so it was important for me to show them that life is gonna be life. And when it knocks you down, it's up to you to choose to get up. And I couldn't show them weakness because I want even to this day to raise two kings for them to know that you're going to get knocked down and that's just a part of life and those growing pains. But when you get knocked down, you can create something beautiful from it if you perceive it in a different way. And so that was like the third, you know how they say them three, that third strike or that third check or whatever? That was it for me. And so I started volunteering at the hospital. That was my first step. Volunteering in the hospital, sharing my story, reminding other survivors that I can't walk, I couldn't talk, but look at me now. You know, I started in a wheelchair, now I'm on a cane and I'm walking and I'm doing it and it's not fast and I look crazy and I started making jokes about myself, which is what brought in Juicy Joy. Now she got jokes about how she two-faced it and how her left butt cheek then disappeared and my black missed me in the back and it was all kind of jokes I started coming up with. And so I just wanted to be able to show my kids a smile and to show them life because we are all crying about something. Everybody go through storms. But storms bring beautiful flowers if you allow it to nourish the ground that is, going on. So that's how I decided and I guess rose above that trauma and that pain and that evilness that wanted to take over my life because it could have stole all of my happiness. It could have made me a mean mom, but it made me closer to my kids. I was volunteering in a classroom, learning how to walk with them, getting up and down on the floor with them, and one of the greatest things that I can say I did before getting out the hospital was asking my therapist to teach me how to get up and down off the floor because the biggest thing I was concerned about was playing with my kids every day. I didn't want to lose that more than anything. So that was the thing, man.
I really respect you, and respect that there. Can I ask how long ago was it?
This year will be 11 years.
Yeah, yeah. Kudos to you. Kudos to you on
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah. Um, I see you like you made some real choices. You made some real choices, and some of the things I'm taking in here is like you found something that was it was you found the strength in you to be strong for them in a sense, right? Um, and like because like when you're like this is what I want to create for their life. This is like, am I getting that right? Let me make sure I'm not messing
Yes, no,
messing
that's
up.
absolutely right. Because, like I said, my mom died from a stroke, and my dad had a stroke when I was like 15, but he didn't, he wasn't never really a good parent anyway. So he didn't have nothing to show me. And I always wanted to be better than who my parents was. And I said, if I can't teach my kids nothing else in this world, I want to teach them to never give up on themselves. I don't care what happens. I don't want them to ever give up because life, especially not being funny, but being black, life is already kind of against them. Just being black. So I was like, no, they ain't gonna never quit because life gonna already try to shut them down at every door they try to walk through. So I want them to have the capacity to fight and fight for them and what they deserve because they deserve to be happy. They deserve to live. They deserve peace. They deserve love. And I just wanted to be that for them, if that makes sense.
It makes a lot of sense. And like, one of the things I hear is like, even though like I want them to be able to fight, like the way that you chose to fight was
Right.
through jokes, was through like determination, was through saying, hey, look, I like I know what my mission is. It is to be there for these kids and to be that mom for them. So let's put into this therapy right now to like figure out how to get on and off the ground here because that's what I'm fighting for. Am I getting this right here?
That's the majority of it. And then they had to have that light because one of the things I
Mm,
looked at my hospital bed and seen was a really dark world. One
yeah,
day I was just landing and it was just really, really dark that day and it was gloomy. And I was like, the one thing my stroke can't steal from me is my joy. I
yeah,
am joy. This is who I am. This is my name. So it can't steal this from me. And my kids will see a light. So I was like, God, you let me up out this bed. I'm going to be the light and the change in this world I want to see for my babies because they deserve to see people look like me be happy and shine a light and not just bitter and angry. Because you know the stereotype. Let's not be funny or let's not pretend. But like, I wanted them to see somebody that looked like us who was just happy to live and appreciate life and gratitude and help others and just joyous and determined and tenacious and just vibrant and just in love with just being. And that's just, I wanted to just be and just be happy in my being, which is how I became handy capable. You bet not never call me handicapped because there's no cap on my life. I'm very capable. It just looks very different than everybody else's. But I get it done, honey, with the one hand. So I wanted them to not see a cap on my life or their life or, people. And I can honestly say my kids are now 13 and 16 and they see people for their heart, not for what they look like or any of that. And I love that so bad. Like,
well
I'm
done.
so grateful.
Well done. Well done. Just yeah, let me just acknowledge you on that.
Thank
Well done as a like you've been doing it. You've been doing it. Um yeah, when you say that it takes me to one of the moments that was like most formidable for me. So in 2019, so you're meeting me right now, I'm Niiamah Ashong, but in 2019, before that, for about 14, 15 years, I went by my nickname of Nemo. And I got it when I was in high school and I rocked it. It was me, you know. Interestingly enough, like the businesses that I had were all rooted in how do you like be you out in the world, right? In fact, my slogan used to be more you, right? Be more you, Nemo Ashong, right? And it like the irony was completely missed on me that I wasn't owning all of me, right?
right.
Even to my name, right? And uh what ended up happening, and this is something that like people see now, but they don't and there was a joyousness, there was a joyfulness that was around it. But what people didn't know, and this is part of the transition to Niyama, was like most of what they had seen was actually me trying to protect myself or make them feel safe, right? I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I'm a big black man, you know, and like I want you to know from far away that like I want like in my mind I wanted the safe ones, you know, and I think that
Right.
there's something here around like I appreciate you sharing this thing and being like let's be real about this. Like I want to be able to create a new narrative. I want this to be an example of what could be like it can be joyous, it can be this here. And at the same time, like it is a conscious choice that you're
Right.
making, right? You're choosing to be joyful through this. Like you said it, like I could have been pulled down, but I chose the joyful
Mhm.
path, you know? I just really want to make sure that like I stay with that and I see that and I acknowledge you. This is why I said like I really respect you here because like there are a lot of other options that we could do.
Right.
You chose this one here. So just like you know you. We're just really beating here, you know, but at the same time, I'm like, I see you and I'm appreciative of you. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that so bad. You have no idea. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah, you're doing great
Feels
work.
good to be seen. Real
Yeah,
talk.
yeah, 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 you're doing great work. So like help us see here then, like how did you take this like idea, this calling that was coming from you, this mission here, and turn that into its own business and movement from there? Tell me about that.
I wasn't even on that at first. I was just doing. And I guess before it became Strengthen You, it was just called a page called Encouragement. And I was just posting and all this different content of me, working out at the gym or going to therapy and how to cook with one hand. And I'll put up all these different quotes and just things to, be an encouragement to people. And then my sister, who is my number one supporter, her name is Yolanda. She is my everything. But she was just like, sister, like you're creating something that's greater than you. You probably don't even realize because when I first started, remind you, I just had a stroke. My cognitive skills were not in play. I mean, I wasn't like completely gone, but I wasn't nowhere near who I am today. And I just wasn't thinking on that level because I was just existing. And my sister started planting seeds in me of my greatness and what I'm doing and what I'm giving to people and how there's nobody out here doing what I do. And, you know, she just started planting seeds in me. And I was like, one day I started talking and I kept just saying stuff. And I'm like, yeah, because fight live in the heart of a survivor. Yeah, because fight live in the heart. And I'm like, yeah, because I got that strength in you. And I just was talking because I'm random, as black folks be saying things. And so it was just one day at the hospital, I went to go volunteer and I met this lady and she have a thing called aphasia. I don't know if you ever heard of aphasia, but for those who are unfamiliar, it's where you know what you want to say, but you can't formulate it with your mouth. So your words don't come out. Or if they do, they don't come out to say what you want them to say. You keep repeating the same thing sometimes. And this one lady, she had aphasia and she had no words. But by the time I finished sharing my story with her, she smiled at me and she had this tear that came out of her eye. And she mouthed to me, "Thank you." And it made me cry because I saw her fight really, really hard to get that thank you out. It didn't come all the way out, but she fought so hard for it. And when she said thank you, I was like, I cried and I was like, girl, you so welcome. I was like, girl, that took so much strength. It's all in you. And when I said that, it was just like an epiphany right then, like, because all your strength that you ever need, I said, it's all in you. We all believe in God or whoever we believe in, but faith without work from yourself is dead, and it's all in you. And I just kept it stuck with me. Strength in you. Like no matter what you do, it comes from within. It comes from your heart. Like it gotta come from within you. So that's where it was born, and that was the beginning of the beginning. And it wasn't going to even be a foundation of all these many different entities. But when I realized through meeting people and just being raw and networking and just being me, doors just kept opening. And every door that opened, I was like, well, shoot, must be God opened the door for me. I got to walk through it. So I started walking through all these doors, and that's how I became a preschool teacher after my stroke, and then I became a licensed life insurance agent, and then I started taking classes for speaking and just all kinds of things, and then I took classes to become a local coordinator to the foreign exchange stuff, and it all just kind of happened, and it was like these were all businesses where there was no discrimination. I've been in many jobs since my stroke where I've been fired, and people won't actually tell you it's due to your disability because legally they can't do that. But they definitely a nitpick and find reasons and ways to get you out. And that's kind of what kept happening to me and many other stroke survivors that I kept meeting. So I was like, well, I got to create a place where people can get licensed and do what they want to do and create something and build something for themselves because we shouldn't all have to be on disability because all of us ain't disabled. Yeah, there are some disabled people in the world and they are awesome too, but there are some handy capable people in the world who want to work and who want to build things, but they don't have nobody who believe in them. So I was like, well, here I am. And there's all these different ways now to where anybody who is of a different ability, because I don't believe in disability. And that's for me personally. Like I said, there are some. But for me personally, I feel like I'm a person of a different ability who's handy capable. So that's why we have all these ways to be very capable in a different way with your ability.
This is what I'm seeing from here, right? Is that like you showed up here and said, okay, hold on, wait a minute. There's even if it's not being said right now, there are things that are happening that
Mhm.
are that I keep entering into rooms or go keep getting into jobs that are not actually serving me in this way. And I'm not the only one where this is happening. So then strength in you ended up being something where you started to pull together these different areas. You talk about like all these different businesses, and I actually want to get a clearer sense as to like what exactly goes into strength in you. How did you like how's that all put together? And then I'm gonna ask you some more questions from there.
Well, it's strengthening you, like I said, is the base, it's the foundation. And the base is help. You helping everybody from every platform, from every side, from every angle, no matter what it is. So all these things tie in because they all literally help those who feel isolated in one way or the other. So there's no one thing that it does to help. It helps many all over from every perspective: money, health, wealth, education, just support in general, because we do the weekly support group. It's everything, because nobody should be excluded. It's all about real deal inclusiveness. Nobody is excluded.
How did people find out about like strengthening you and things? Because it had a lot of different rooms. I'm curious about like how like yeah how people join your world, how they find out more about it.
Mainly people actually just find me
Hmm.
because I'm all over the place with everything. They find me, and it's usually through word of mouth. But I do a lot of networking events in the community, and I do a lot of online engagements and speaking events. So that's how they find out about me. But the majority and the bulk of everything comes from word of mouth, and I get calls from people who've told people about me, and that's kind of how it goes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I like part of here that I really like is like every it seems like this whole thing just kept coming from two things. One, you kept leaning into you and didn't allow anything to hold you back in it. Um, at least to stop you, right? It like nothing chosen like nothing held you back in that regard. And on the other side of it too, it feels like things just keep unfolding for you. Like it's not like you necessarily are like, here goes what the end state needs to look like, and so on and so forth. You're like, okay, I got you. I have these experiences, I have these opportunities. Let's plug you in. Let's keep doing that here. And as time goes on, it's like you're intentional with spreading the word, you're intentional with going to networking, you're intentional with getting people into your world. But the offer itself, the things that you're doing itself is so remarkable that people are literally remarking about you when you're not there and it's coming out as
Right.
word of mouth. Is that am I getting that there?
Yes, absolutely. And that's kind of why it's so great and it's so surreal, because who would think that, especially Southside girl from Chicago, who would be just in the room talking about me, and then people just calling me talk about, I got your number from so and so. So it's amazing, and that's kind of how it goes. And I'm still processing my world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. No, like I'm actually very curious about that there, right? Because, again, like we're talking to you now. It's been 11 years since the stroke itself, right? And it's like I have this thing that like my sentence that I carry with me is I'm not supposed to be here,
Uh-huh.
right? I'm not supposed to be here. And I there was a time when I felt that in a very negative way, where it's like, oh, let me hide myself. Let me like I'm not supposed to be here, so let me make sure no one knows. And
Right.
nowadays it's become part of the strength that's in me, which is like, look, I'm not supposed to be here. Like y'all got access to me, and like this is all rent. Like I
Right.
honestly think of it like Mary Poppins. right? It's like Mary Poppins, she's gonna be with you, and then y'all might be just out there flying a kite right there one day, and she's just gonna take off on her umbrella and fly over to the next family. You know, she ain't gonna even say goodbye. Like I'm not supposed to be here, right? And so I see. I don't even know what brought me into this, like directly up front right now. Um, but there's something in what you're creating that feels that like you allowed it to just evolve into what it really could be at, rather than just like settling for anything less than that.
And you true. That's true, and that's because I'm in this space of everything is limitless. As
Mm,
I told you before, since I already go by that there's no cap on my life.
mm,
Strength in you isn't a thing that says this is what it's gonna look like and this is how it's gonna stay. No, because I'm so open and I know that the only thing that's constant in the world is change. I want to be able to change with it, and I want to be able to supply and help all the changes that's coming along with it, because everybody not gonna learn the same, everybody not gonna grow the same, everybody not gonna absorb the information. You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah,
it's always different. So to me, there needs to always be a willingness to change and grow with it. So that's why strengthen you is always changing, always growing, always producing something different, because it's never gonna look like somebody else's. It's always gonna be its own thing.
yeah. So like now I get curious, like, so we're hearing you, you've established this, like kudos to you on this here. And on the outside, everything might like everything's moving in. What's one of the challenges that like you're taking on right now that like, you look at this and you're like, all right, I'm trying to get through this challenge when it comes to the business or with what we're creating. And like on the other side of it, you're like, it's gonna be so amazing, But right now, you're like, hey, this is how I'm continuing to challenge myself. This is how I'm continuing to have to like create something out of nothing. I'm really curious about a project or a challenge you're taking on right now that might fit that.
Well, a project that I'm taking on right now is a lot of projects, but one
Mhm.
specifically that's actually coming up this weekend is called Kings of Kings. And this project is based around men's mental health. Um, as you know, men are generally told to suck it up, be tough, shut up, go sit down somewhere. You meant to just be a provider, be quiet, like your voice don't matter, stop that crying, and all these different things. Um, but I'm learning, especially because I have boys, and I've watched them kind of told the same things because I did it to them for a while personally before I kind of took accountability for what I was doing and how I play my role in everything. But I'm doing a King of Kings event to not only raise awareness about mental health, men's mental health more specifically, but that it's okay to need help and have mental health issues as a man. And one of the challenges has been getting men to acknowledge that I hurt, I'm weak, I can't, it hurts. And to speak about it in an open situation, just how, you know, how women get with their homegirls and they, girl, and we'll talk and we'll tell our problems and we'll help give solutions and we're going to have a whole ponderosa about it. Men don't really do that. So I am trying to do a yearly event where we bring in speakers and resources and um, counselors and provide them with the real support that's needed, because it's not just for Black men, it's for all men. And it's men who kind of are our leaders. But if they don't know how to lead, then they're going to lead you into a brick wall and everybody going to be on their face. So it's important that we shine a light on that and be able to create something different so we can create hopefully some real change, and that my kids, for example, can see men get love and get support and be valued and be appreciated and be nurtured and cared for, and not just be that trifling bum ass mom, all the things that said. So um That's one of the projects that's coming up recently. And another one I would say that's coming up in about a year or two is working on this. You can call it a family reunion, but it's for people of different abilities to actually get together and to kind of have a family reunion to get to know people of themselves and come to one central location from all over the US and just be. Because sometimes it's hard to just be without the judgment, without the chaos, without the anxiety, without just everything that keeps everybody inside. So that's one event that's coming up. It's going to be called the Handicapper Ball. Y'all will get more information about it. I'm working on it, but those are just a couple of them. But as far as the business itself, though, I will say one of the hardest things is learning to trust people. Trust it to care about it as much as you care about it and to put real love in it, not because they want acknowledgement from the world, but genuinely to help the people who you're trying to help. That's the hard part because everybody is about um, getting a dollar and getting the name out for the wrong reasons. And I'm really sensitive about strengthening you. So I'm sensitive about who I let get into it and do whatever it is they want to do. So that's been a challenge as well.
Well, I'm glad you bring in a lot of these things here. So, firstly, just on the two projects you're taking on, um, as a guy, like I get it, you know, uh, and even that, like I'm, I tend to be someone who's like, oh, if we can go have the conversations, like I'll have it. Like, people ask me how I'm doing, and I slow down and I actually answer the question. It's a
Do you really?
every time
I love it.
every time. And like and to me, I'm like there's it's one of the most important questions, and it's also an opportunity. It's like it's it's a simple opportunity to practice being real on a regular basis, but it's also just important to actually know how you're doing.
Yeah.
Like and sometimes I'll share and it's very funny because um it's in a way it's incredibly intimidating. It's a different type of strength in that moment there where like, oh, I can show you what's happening in here right now. Right. And like, so this is how I'm doing. This is how the day's been. This is where I'm at. I appreciate you because now I get a chance to not feel smaller, but to actually like be able to calibrate and say, like, this is how my day's going. Do I want it to keep going that way? Like,
Right.
this is how I'm feeling right now. Is there something I want to do that to like change that feeling so that I don't
Uh-huh.
end up being, you know, subject to this thing that's running on like in the background.
Right.
So I really acknowledge you and I understand the challenge, and it's a local event too, correct? It's not like a virtual
Yes.
event, right? Yeah. So you have like so yeah, there's I get it. I get it. I want to say thank you for organizing what you're organizing with this year. I'm wishing you luck with it. Right? Any outliers that are in the area? This is in the Chicago area, you said?
No, this is in Colorado
In
Springs.
Colorado Springs. Okay, cool. So, and any outliers that are in the area, like please go join in. And if you listen to this after it happens, like go out and see what the next project is that you might be able to become a part of here. I like even getting to that part about what you're talking about with trust, I can see that your heart's all in this. You
Oh
know,
yeah, sure.
your heart's fully in it. And what was coming to me as you said that about like trusting that people are going to come from like the right place with it. You know, um, what came to me is I'm like, oh, this is like another child of yours, right?
Yeah.
And
It's
like
my baby.
yeah, exactly. And what I get is that you bring a lot of care and intention, and you make sure that your children have the best, and that the people that are around them are positive influences from it because you know what you're trying to create for your child, such that they can go off on their own and continue to be, you know, high producing, high fidelity, entities. I'll say entities in this one since I'm including the business in it as well. But
Yes.
like there's a high level of integrity in it, and you don't just let people in to be with your children, like you
Oh,
spend you're very, very discerning about it. Let me check in with you.
absolutely. Always. Always have been, just because nobody protected me like that as a kid
Yeah.
in every aspect of, every
Yeah.
way possible. So even with Strength in You, like, it's my baby because what it means, not only for me, like I said, it's bigger than me. Strength in You is bigger than me. And for the people who I'm trying to help, I will be damned if
Mm.
somebody come in and make these people feel any other way than amazing,
Yeah.
or than loved and valued and appreciated and heard and seen, because all these things, I know what they feel like firsthand. And so it's extremely important to me that I include them in their feelings and everything in whoever I decide to let into that personal space, because that's a real sacred space.
Yeah. I feel it. I feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine the kind of culture that you create. I can imagine the type of like what the vibe is, but also like the when I talk about culture, it's like the rules of the game that you play there, you know.
Right.
And there's also I appreciate the level of excellence that you bring to it, and for me the excellence is it's in your standards. Right? You're like, we're not just gonna come here and be like happy. Like we're gonna actually do it like get to the core of what will bring joy. And let's do that, you know? Let's play at that level. Let's keep playing at like the highest possible possibility for us and to live in that and to speak into that and to hold ourselves to that and to discover new strengths within ourselves in order to be that. That is like as we're talking, that is how you are showing up to me here. And I want to make sure I reflect that back to you. I'm grateful for you.
Absolutely, that's exactly what it is. But at the same time, let's not get it twisted, because I definitely feel, and I want them to feel the pain, the thing that come, because all of this, they work together. You can't embrace the good without embracing the bad. You can't enjoy one without the other. You know what I'm saying? So it exists, but it's what you hold on to that matters the most. And if we've learned to hold on to that joy and that strength and that positivity and that light and that love, because those are the things that matters most. Everything else is there to distract you, is there to take away from what you actually deserve. And that's that happiness, that's that smile that most of us are afraid to show because of the gap or because of the chipped tooth or whatever the reason is. And it's like, see beauty in all that, because that's the part that makes you your special different self. That's the part that makes you you. That's the part that outweighs everything else, because you're your special light. You know what I mean? Like, we all have a special light, and it's important that we talk about those lights that try to dim the good light or whatever, but we're going to outweigh and outshine those weights and those heavy burdens and those tears and that pain and that woe and that suffering with that joy and that strength and that tenacity and that positivity and that energy and just goodness, because if you let it steal from you, it take all your power. It steal everything from you if you allow it. So when I do what I do, I always try to encourage people to truly be yourself. But now once you're yourself, and if it's all sad, let me help you and show you how to turn this all around and find that strength and that life and that love and that peace and just that inner whoever you are, because you are your own special. So that's what it is for me.
Thank you. Thank you. And, I think that's a good place for us to wrap up here. So, like outliers, like what I'm going to ask here is a couple of things. One, like you can tell that Cynthia's on a mission, right? And this mission grows by letting other people know about it. And so my ask here is that you share this episode with someone else. Actually, just go ahead and share this episode overall. If you're all listening to this and you just take a copy of the link to this and post it on your profile or on your socials, like that'd be amazing. But there's probably also one person in your life who could really use this conversation, like that if you shared this with that person, they'd be like, thank you for thinking of me specifically. right? And if
Mhm.
there's that, like, I get the sense that like this will continue to grow and it'll continue to meet people and they'll be like, sure, those things are fun, and I think it's important that the message shares. But we're also in the game of changing lives and uplifting individuals, and so like,
Yeah.
and that happens when someone is seen. And so I ask that you join us in what we call the one person, one conversation at a time initiative. And that's just by sharing this episode with one person who would truly benefit from listening to this. And that'll be your gift to them through us. All right. All right, Cynthia, we're going to wrap up our conversation here. What I'm going to ask you is for any, ask you two questions. One, for any outlier who wants to go deeper down the journey with you, what's the best way for them to do that? I'm sure that you're in a lot of different places, so give them like the best options. Yeah, let me start with that, and I'll ask you the second question afterwards.
Well, the best option, because I definitely am everywhere, literally everywhere, but the best option to just find me and be personal and direct with me is to just go on and message me at strengthenyou@gmail.com. The strengthenyou@gmail.com. It's personal, it's me, and we can talk. And hey, whatever you need, I'm your girl.
Nice. And it's the strength in you.
Yes.
Okay, great. So outliers, reach out. Let's have some conversations going, and like outliers meet outliers, trailblazers meet trailblazers, and what comes together when we connect is more than anything I can typically imagine. Right? Cynthia, I'll end off here with the last question today, and this is like letting all the outliers go, right? Even letting go of like the sharing of the mission. I just want to focus on you here, right? Uh, I have a general theory, which is that like, or a general posture, which is that if the only reason to have a conversation is for it to be a life-changing conversation in some way, shape, or form, right? And I'm curious for you here, what's an insight that you're taking away, or some kind of takeaway that you have as a result of this conversation? You don't have to have one. So if like you're like, oh, nothing's really coming to mind, then you can let that go. But I am curious for you if there is one that you'd like to share.
Um, the insight I would have from this episode is, to be honest, that I am freaking amazing. Like,
Mhm,
no, the
mhm,
real insight, besides
mhm,
that, I feel like truly that I am doing more than I actually give myself credit for. But that strengthen you is really necessary. It's necessary, and it is something that is just meant to not only change my life but change all lives. Whether you are a person of a different ability or just a person who've experienced life, because it looks different for all of us. So that's really my insight as of right now.
yeah.
So I'm probably gonna have something to come back on and hop in the comments later.
Please
But
do.
that's
Please
it
do.
for right now, honey.
Well, thank you so much, Cynthia. I'm so grateful that we got to spend time here together. Thank you for being here for Outliers, and thank you for playing the game that you play out in the world. And Outliers, until the next time we talk, be you on purpose. Journey on.
Love it.